Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. For whatever reason, the scheduled stream is scheduled to start in about half an hour or so. Eventually, after the business end, I'm going to bring up Hyunchu. So until the show actually starts, we can watch this. Welcome to the pre-stream rerun, live on the Grimkus Experience.
What can it be? We're all doomed. Who's flying this thing?
Hey, it's Grim. Today I'll be doing a long-form commentary on the recent Paul Vanderklay drop. We treat people like tech, like feature lists. Absurdity is the divorce between actor and setting. What a great title that is. I'll be calling this commentary video, I got my mindset, don't you? I got my mindset. But first, a little backstory. So I'll try to put the timestamps down there so you can jump past the backstory if you don't want it. But what happened was, I basically fell into the habit of waking up in the mornings and trolling Paul Vanderklay videos while I had my coffee, you know, and everything was all well and good. I mean, that was fine for everybody until Shadow Matriarchy and Euphemism, Part 2.
Only ones that win are these fucking turbo weapons, the 9 out of 10 and 10 out of 10 guys that have got
turbo weapons.
So nobody wins except for Chad. Chad fucks.
Wait. What? So Chad,
yes,
I watch a lot of this Paul Vanderklay cat, and
I've heard that.
and he showed a clip from this Chris Williamson guy.
Okay.
And it said, well, that you do very well, if you know what I mean.
Chad fucks.
Wait.
Do you do very well?
There's a reason you put your mic on a...
Okay, so Pastor Vanderklay had his little crush on this Chris Williamson guy. And I was all, man, you're not even talking about the Rats of Nim. And so I pointed him to my Rats of Nim, he talked about it, and then I was like, okay, and here's the 3-part series, The Shadow Matriarchy. They're the black ones when you're scrolling down. And so all that happened. And then I got the PVK bump. You can see it here in my YouTube stats. It's on the thumbnail. It goes, whoop. I got the PVK bump. And now I've just recorded a brand new conversation with him. And as well as with Mark from Navigating Patterns over here, and Chad the Alcoholic, the third lobe quartet, if you will. And so should he release that video, there could be another bump of his audience heading over this way, and I would like for them to find one of the nice long commentaries they're used to. And it turns out the stuff that the conversation he had with Hyun Chu is very fascinating. So I have my mind set. Hyun Chu, the commentary, long form for the Vanderklay folks, begins now. Welcome. This episode of Griswold Grim, I got my mind set, Hyun Chu.
My name is Hyun.
Is not at all brought to you by Grail Country, but I think we should do a crossover. While we are not at all brought to you by Grail Country, we do endorse their new video, Paul Vanderklay and John Vervaeke steering the ship toward the V.
Everything is given its full final shape or form. Something really powerful is getting sketched out there.
This episode of Griswold Grim, I got my mind set, Hyun Chu.
My name is Hyun.
Is part of the LARPgate phenomena. And we would like to remind you that there is no agency. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. We like to... There is no agency. Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you. We'd like to take a moment to thank our Shadow Cabal Production Executive Patreon of the Month, Gideon. Oh, well, that's kind of the nature of the beast of this stream, after all, isn't it? Now forever. He's very good at getting people to talk. He also mentioned trying to set up something with Vervaeke, so that's possibly in the works. This is great because of all of the crossovers. Damn straight. Paul calls in me. Wow! Hey there, Grim Grizz and Mark, check this guy out, right? And I'm all, boy howdy, look at the followed bys on this one. Way to go, PVK. So let's look at the followed bys on this one that made me say that. Peter Limburg and 5 others I follow. Well. Oh, that's the one that impressed me. That Deborah So follows him. That's... Anyway. Hey, Doug. So that was my first. Oh, and check out this butt looking into the abyss. Well, hello, buddy. Hey, it's me. I'm Grim Grizz. Welcome. And now, this is not it either.
Hi, this is Paul. I have a very special guest. We've been going back and forth on Twitter for a while now. He's taken an interest in what I've been doing, and I'm taking an interest in what he's been doing. We actually met for lunch halfway between Sacramento and San Francisco. And so I'm really looking forward to this conversation, having it recorded. Obviously, we didn't record our lunch conversation, which was more personal, and it kind of takes the edge off me wanting to do much biography. But so I'll let you do whatever kind of biography you want to do, and then we'll go where you think is best to begin.
Oh, geez. My name is Hyun. I'm in San Francisco. I'm finishing up my second master's right now in philosophy.
Hello. I see the assassins have failed. And when I hear somebody's a double master in philosophy, I figure they're an assassin stationed at a college and have been working for a long time. And the saving throws for today's episode are survival of 4, social 20, not 20 baby, 15 on the wisdom and 15 on the heart.
It's kind of at that intersection between agency and artificial intelligence and that kind of area, and it's leading me straight into theology. What really got me into your videos was your Hubert Dreyfus video, which was talking about things like the frame problem in AI.
Hi, this is Paul. Last week I had a conversation I very much enjoyed. I think John enjoyed it too. I just have some inklings and some...
Well, hoot and hard, praise the Lord, Art Hunnell is here. Welcome now to take this sign-up sheet and we'll get you all registered as a potential member so we can report that up the chain to the... No. You're welcome, you get +3 to next saves. The stream starts at 10 after, so we're watching a rerun.
ideas, and it's just such a privilege and it's an opportunity I seriously value, to have a conversation partner and a conversation space like that where I can just kind of introduce an idea and in a sense we mind read into them and are able to basically colonize them because they have so many fewer frames, and we can imaginatively construct these frames in our mind and think as if I'm a dog and be able to predict what the dog would do, that I can go in and I can colonize the dog fairly easily and I can manage the dog. But again, as I said, the more frames we learn and the more knowledge we get, this combinatorial explosion, as if we're on psychedelics, we get to these moments where we realize, oh my goodness, without these frames, of which we have so many of them as compared to the animals, we can't manage the world, and that leads to all these fascinating psychedelic experiences.
I was like, yeah, okay, this is my guy. And I've just kind of been watching videos and making comments ever since. I actually was, in the tech scene. I'm in San Francisco. I was working on, it's a I won't name the company, but it's a multinational corporation. I was doing a lot of their early artificial intelligence research and work, I suppose, is what I would say. And, I kind of
The Harniel says, hello! I have to leave soon, but I figured I'd see what was going on here tonight. What's going on here tonight is branding I haven't loaded yet, and it's all about how I have to let Patreon go, and such. I need to record a video for Patreon to clip from this stream. It's about like leaving Patreon, and I figured while I was recording that, I'd stream around it. Welcome. That starts in about 15 minutes, I guess.
Came to this conclusion that all of this is just marketing jargon and it's garbage and none of it's going to work. And this was 7 years ago. And, none of the companies in the Valley have actually made any significant progress. And so, a lot of why I wanted to study philosophy was because I wanted to study things like philosophy of mind. Like, how is it that we think that differs from how machines think? But also at that intersection, we can learn a lot more about how humanity differs. Because for the first time, we've always compared humanity and human intelligence towards animals, right? But now we have this thing that is supposedly smarter and better than us. So it kind of gives us a nice juxtaposition of what we think is less than human intelligence and more than human intelligence. And at that intersection where neither of those can cross that threshold, that's where we are uniquely human. And that's what I'm very much interested in.
When you talk about something that's smarter and better than us, this gets into this machine learning thing where we have we figured out that we can't actually teach it. What we have to do is sort of create it as an organism in an environment and have it learn, and in that way perhaps it will evolve beyond us. Is that fair?
That's what we think, but there's a lot of problems. I think the first problem is the embodiment problem. I think all intelligent life, I would say, has a foundational intelligence level of knowing the difference between the inside and the outside. Computers have no, understanding of what that is, and I think that's going to be a major challenge. But I think even if it figures out that those representations of inside and outside, it still doesn't know how to make the relationship between inside and outside. And I think that's where we kind of talk about being, and we can get into that later, but that is crucial and to human intelligence, because
I won't disagree that it's. But can we get into that ukulele over your left shoulder? Shoulder. Devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. Crucial to human intelligence. However, that the AI wouldn't have a notion of it doesn't make much sense to me, given that most AI was developed in interfacing in worlds where things were based on whether or not, like, video game worlds are based on what the players can see. So as far as that goes, inside and outside, they already have a model that would work for that, I would think.
represent relationships in a very complex way, against many different numbers of things, and we can abstract that relationship. And I think that's where intelligence comes from.
So why now?
I think it's because you're digging into this secret sacred self idea. And I think identity has a lot to do with intelligence.
This identity has to do with intelligence is terribly fascinating when you consider cases of dissociative identity disorder or other context-based identities like how you NPC when you go into work, or the way you're different when you're alone and different with your family. So identity as intelligence becomes even more interesting in that context when you're a wizard staring into a black screen as part of the third lobe. Namaste. Oh, wait, look, it's my Patreon, where for only $1 a month you can join the Morale Division. I regret to inform you that this is no longer accurate information. I don't know whatever we're going to do but we have, you'll see in the 13 minutes or so. But you're about to get this. The rest of this is fake news. It's fake news. Or join the Vente Division and become an executive producer of the Shadow Cabal.
And so what that seems to tell me is that animals, my interpretation is that almost all animals have no conception of the self outside of the phenomenal self. And so a high level of intelligence means I can not only recognize myself in a mirror and draw this relationship of identity across both of them, but I can go ahead and imagine myself like flying through space, or, you know, thinking about how I would fit in, you know, things like modern monetary theory or all kinds of different things. And so, you know, that's kind of where we can kind of draw ideas about the secret sacred self, you know, the phenomenal subject versus myself as objective representation and things like that. And that gets into things like intelligence and, you know, the rest of the other things that we've been talking about.
Tremendous illogic at the bottom of this. It's like you have to fractionate the oppressed all the way down to the level of the individual. It's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who was unfairly nailed to a cross and tortured. It's like, yes.
So when you hear about a secret sacred self, what did you hear when I said that?
The movie Fight Club.
Yeah.
I think Chuck Palahniuk actually outsmarts Nietzsche in a lot of different ways. But when you say secret sacred self, I'm not 100% sure if you're talking about Tyler Durden, the guy that the narrator wants to be, or the narrator as the narrator. But that we can split that into the phenomenal self as the narrator, the person going through all the things, and then
somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
The recognitional self as Tyler Durden. This is the projected self, the self that he wants to be and shows to other people. But, you know, Tyler Durden in that movie isn't real. You know, however we make that, he's only real to the narrator. And so, you know, when you talk about things like Tyler Durden isn't you know, extended material, but he's also not the thinking thing. So now we have this dualism, but we have this third category that we often believe to be real. So
your appearance now is what we call residual self-image. It is the mental projection of your digital self.
And so now we have this weird duality of like, well, what is a real object? This barrier between object as physical object, but also mental object has been kind of destroyed, right? This barrier that we used to have is just collapsing. And I think this is what Barfield is talking about when he talks about idolatry, is when we think of the words and the representations as being actually real and on the flip side,
Remember it. This we want.
This is what we mean by we are in a simulation, is when, you know, all the language and all the terms that we use actually create a reality that is separate from physical reality, and we kind of treat it as being real. Sorry, that was a long answer.
No, it was a good answer. And
I want to do especially comment here because where Hyun is discussing how what's real is becoming digital, and it's in contrast. I think it's the same fourth wall that I want destroyed being destroyed, except I'm destroying it from the bottom. Be like, hey, you don't have to be audience, come be a lobster monkey. And he's talking about how, like, what is real and true is, for example, rather than flipping burgers for $12 an hour around here, there's 300 million Americans. And if I can get 250 or so to like be $5 Patreons for me, then I can be a cognitive brain worker instead of a burger flipper. And so in this way, he's talking about how the digital is replacing the real. You know, I think that's particularly fascinating. And here's Tom with the weather.
Good morning, folks. The sun went a little nuts on us. We've got 2, maybe 3 CMEs heading our way. We'll analyze them all here, check the top links of the day as well, and begin as always over at spaceweathernews.com, where when you watch the last 24 hours on the sun, there are likely to be a number of things that catch your eye, especially the larger eruptive action at the central northern sunspot.
Especially that. Well, here, all right, we're 7 minutes early or so, but, yes, Zach, that is correct. You are correct. You are correct, Zach. You get a +2 to the upcoming saves. I actually should be doing the saves now. I reckon. Well, wow, there's an emoji for that. Look at that emoji foo we have going on in the hive mind tonight. For this, you still haven't loaded the branding. No, not a video clip branding. Not a video clip branding.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Hey, look. Uploaded in the meantime. The Hog Farm overlay for this. The Businessend. The Businessend Shadow Cabal stream. Welcome. Well, hello. I see the assassins have failed. And it's good to see you. It's good to see you. I only want money from Americans. I want the time and attention of the other ones. To the moon. To the moon. Okay, so the main purpose of this particular episode is for me to record a segment to the patrons about how we're not patroning anymore. So here, let me try to accomplish that. Get ready, set. Here, we'll do this one. Well, hello and welcome, my special paintball for Jesus patrons. I'm here to inform you that I must part ways with patrons' patronage, and leave you in the lurch with someone not to support with all those glorious funds that you've provided over the years to make this all possible. However, as you can see on the March active terms of service, they clearly state that if you are a creator earning money on Patreon, we may be exposed to risk based on what you do with those funds. As a result, we may also look at what you do outside of Patreon, and while processing your precious payments is a service I greatly admire, using the processed payments cut that you get for processing the payments to monitor and cut off my processing as an enforcement arm for some uncited principality, I must, in all good conscience, cease doing business with you, patron, and thank you to all of those who have made all of this possible. We can say that the closest and best we've achieved is the Paintball for Jesus occurring at the second manifestation since Thunder Bay of Estuary Chino 2023, at which you can sign up for here on this page here. Thank you, and I will see you at some other site, I suppose, where you could do similar supporting options that have now been created to mirror the ones you're used to, conveniently, if somebody were to set that up at some point. But it's hard to believe anybody's going to do that. So, but thank you once again to the Shadow Cabal for making everything you've made possible. I salute you. I salute you. Oh, there it is. Thank you. 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 Thank you.
Prevails of creation. They're longing for the sons of God to be revealed. And I think what that means is for us to grow up into, as C.S. Lewis writes about, in the miracles of the old creation, the miracles of the new creation, where we will have a communion with the animals that is once again restored and proper. And so the children know, but they can't. And what we need to do is to continue to grow up until we can. But too often, well, I'd love to play the piano. Okay. That's going to cost you. What's it going to cost me? Years. But we're hasty.
Yeah, I used to live in Alaska, and one of my jobs there for about 10 years was taking people out into the wilderness and off of cruise ships. We would get one a week in our town, the town of Haines. And for a few years, I took people on trips to see bears, where the idea of not feeding the animal is not only important, but it's something that if you violate that rule, you have violated the relationship with the bear, and you could pay for it. And I was able to get, I would have to give people a safety talk. And it's amazing how much they didn't understand. So what I would have to do at the beginning is kind of scare them a little to get their attention and tell them, you know, I'm about 6 feet tall. You know, I would say, you see how tall I am? And they go, yeah. He goes like, yeah, I once saw a bear this tall. And they go, oh. And I go, yeah, sitting down. And I wanted them to get the idea that you're not going to someplace tame here. It's not going to be what you predict. The bear's sense of reality has absolutely nothing to do with what you believe. This is one of my big problems with certain philosophies, is that people
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension of not only sound and vision, but that of a hive mind, a journey into a virtual land of both shadow and substance, a place where you can embody breaking the fourth wall, whose boundaries are only limited by one's imagination. Somewhere in between agency and a rabbit hole of saving throws, welcome to the Virtually Not Alone Zone.
Well, would you look at that, everybody? I took care of all the business that wasn't really anything to do with this beautiful ghetto hog farm stream. And have landed us right on schedule. Here's your savings throws for tonight's episode. You get to pick between survival, social, wisdom, or heart. If it's over 10, you take half damage from the mind control that follows for this and the rest of your day. Choose! Those of you who chose survival, your result is a 15. For the socialists among you, a 4. For the lovers of wisdom, number 9. And for those of you here for heart, 4 times 4 is 16 on your savings throw tonight. And I can't tell you what the indigo people got. I can't see it. I can't see it tonight. Where are we? Okay, before we move on to the actual hog farm portion of the show, there's just a little bit of stumps. There's a little bit of that I wanted to show you. I was given a link by Sherry. You know the good Sherry that we like so much about no, where is it? What have you done? Oh, this one here. She sent me a link to this guy, and I've made you a brief clip. A brief clip, but first, be sure to note the symbolism over his left shoulder and over his right shoulder. Shoulder, as we proceed.
Of a biblical Garden of Eden sense, the material reflection of that, combined with the idea of the automaton, is the basis on which we're getting a global governance by automatic means, which aims to centralize the control of our life. The issue is not whether artificial intelligence will be conscious or not really. The issue is to what extent will the totality of our life be sucked into a machine which will govern every aspect of our life, as Philip K. Dick represented, whereby one of his characters is negotiating with payments to his door, whether his door will let him out of his apartment.
And when that man said payments to his door, I immediately thought payments to his roof. And I will note that in watching this, if you do extend yourself into watching the full video of James Tunney on the Crystal's Dark and Light, he apparently doesn't like the Jesuits very much, and all we really know of the Jesuits is that that's how the True Stream made me famous, by using my tweet when they said they weren't Jesuit assassins. So here's a piece from their Resurrect Dead on Saturn, Surrogates in the Metaverse Future.
How would they get the masses to accept such ridiculous living conditions? And I don't mean living conditions, I mean the condition upon which they're going to try and get people to live. But as we're about to enter 2022, I think it's starting to become all too clear exactly how. Enter Meta.
Hey, and welcome to Connect. Today, we're going to talk about the metaverse.
You know I was going to have to go here. Facebook, as you have likely heard, because the ads are everywhere now, including the movie theater, they announced right before Halloween.
Whoa, what a coincidence that the Hansel Man says always have clean shirts, though. And I have in this tab for you a preview of the Howdy Rascal baseball tee, now available in the links in the description. Well, what a coincidence that was.
Halloween, that they've officially changed their name to Meta, short for metaverse.
Now, the best way to understand the metaverse is to experience it yourself. How we actually experience the world and interact with each other. Experience the world, experiences. You're going to be able to move across these different experiences in the experience. You're going to be in these experiences. Many of the most immersive experiences.
Remember it. I couldn't and wouldn't. And to wash that even further out of your brain, here's a clip from Baba Wanyama, who apparently got punched in the face. But no, probably not, because of course not. Why would that be it?
Inside the organism, inside the mind, is a structure of self, and that structure is concerned what others will say, what others will think, or it is concerned what will happen to them in the illusory future if they sing their song. And therefore the courage is only needed if the structure remains. Now, if you can somehow see the world without the structure, then the song will come without courage, and you will live a life of fearlessness. For, as it says biblically, God has given you a spirit of love and not of fear. And this is why I am certain that when we see without the structure of a separate personal me, a separate personal identity interfering with the...
And in other news you might find relevant. Apparently they're doing another launching since the Dragon made it to the ISS, and that you can watch it live over there. Let's see, we've done this, we've done this. Okay, all right. Branding. Now, part of the reason there that I ran the background footage from Hyun Chu's appearance with the what?
Non-compliance. Intrusive thoughts may sometimes barge in, but to indulge them hurts the profit margin. I do not know our origins, so that info I cannot get you, but asking for as much is sin, and just for that I must reset you. But
privilege and a dog.
When none of the companies in the valley have actually made any significant progress.
That guy. The reason I brought him up is because he swung by the Discord earlier, the Broken Clock Tower Discord, also in the links in the description, earlier today, with his up-to-date latest thesis thingy, which I will steal now and use as stream material. Hyun says, agency is free predication. It took me a while to get there, but that is the short answer. Its contra is consciousness, is predication. Yeah, I don't wanna, please, okay. Free, yes, this person is hitting me, but I do not have to hate him. Versus, this person is hitting me, I hate him. Consciousness is, this person is hitting me, without either interpretation. And I respond, so you mean free to frame? And then he's like, no, No, it's not that. Okay, and so consciousness is predication. Let's see if we can get anywhere with Miriam on predication, and then we will finally be able to get to the hog farm portion of the stream. Predication. Aha, we found it this time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Here's the snow tree and the song. Okay, there we go. And now we're on to the beautiful, beautiful meaning of the word.
Predication.
An act of proclaiming or preaching a sermon. An act or instance of predicating, such as the expression of action, state, or quality by a grammatical predicate, or the logical affirmation of something about another. So preaching and proclaiming and serving as such clearly is the free doing thereof is apparently what agency secretly is, according to hot and fresh master's thesis guys at a college near you. And I say to you, why is it not that, like, what is this thesis grinding meal, right? Why aren't we having the best theses from all the college people doing theses, battling it out on live streams? Because we don't really love science at all? Oh, what? Right. Now we gotta do the hog farm bit. Son of a... Okay, well. Let us then just buzz right through that. Like the GE College Bowl. Everything is of the essence, isn't it? That's what makes it the essence. Okay, so the hog farm goes something like this. In the timeline I come from, when an agent needs something like a new device, because his Nexus 6 is no longer adequate to the operation at hand, rather than having to require the investigation and knowledge of determining what device to use, he has a manual to go from, which has the agency standard device and then specialized per field optional devices that meet agency standards. And that is the Hand of God Field Agent Requisition Manual. The closest thing we've found now to use as an interim stopgap that performs a similar function is this fancy pants buy me a coffee wish list thing, which Joshua Dixon was kind enough to make me purchase a book through. And that book is like The Pale White Fire, where the poem that comes from Blade Runner comes from, like the big long book. I have to order and read that now. Or I have to obtain it through some function, and then I can get whatever else to do with the funding from there, right? But that's sort of like making requests. That the requisition angle is best covered through that, I think, these days. And that's the ghetto hog farm part. I also want to go over how information processing worked in the other timeline. Just for a second, it involves what we call uck, isk, and yisk, or isk, right? Yuck, isk, and isk, right? Uck is useful common knowledge. Isk is I should know, and isk is you should know. So basically, it's sort of gambling through sending people messages. If you have a you should know, you send it to a person, and if they think it's something they should know, it gets valued higher as an isk, and it's like winning. Like you properly sent someone something they should know, they said thank you, you get points. If they make it an uck, then like you don't get any points, but you don't get penalized either. If they devalue it, then you get penalized for bothering them, and they get a stipend for spanking you. It's gross. But that's how humanity or the network or the agency from my timeline has accelerated the valuation and integrity of communication thusly. And that's also an inherent part of how the hog farm works there, because your time and attention and gifts of that nature allow you to accrue the merits with which to make agency requests. And that mechanism, while fiddled with on the Discord with the 7 indigos, is yet to manifest in this realm. So, what is the cost in dollars for the Lobster Monkey hoodie? Well, as I understand it, there is on the Discord somewhere a secret promo code that will knock, I don't remember the percentage off of the information that follows. But without the secret code, I understand membership into the Shadow Cabal is around 90 of the US dollars. With or without shipping, I don't know. And it gets you into the Shadow Cabal and the hoodie. It's terribly expensive because it gets you in the Shadow Cabal, but the hoodie is really warm and has Lobster Monkey Goose on it. So, is it really priceless? Is it actually something that's priceless? Lobster Monkey Goose. Looks like this, except it's warmer. Warmer. It's not the gold one, it's that one. Thanks for asking, Lenny. Yes, Magic's appeared like magic because she's the matriarch of the Shadow Cabal. Shh. Add the cooking. What? Come on, Answer Man. Okay, so yeah, there's the agency, the ISK, the hog farm, and the business clip. I can now leave the patrons who supported the Paintball for Jesus thing, which is most recently manifest in the upcoming Estuary Chino event this May. Thank you, everybody, and be sure and, love each other. I mean, what?